Hey there, everyone. Amanda here, and I'm going to be talking today about a topic that I just feel is very timely and something that it seems like a lot of people maybe need to hear right now. And what I'm going to talk about today is rescue methods for dealing with trauma response. So I'm going to say a disclaimer just to start that I am not a medical professional. I cannot diagnose you. I also am giving you advice from personal experience and some things that you can try, but this is not in place of medical treatment or medical diagnosis. Hopefully, some of these things might be helpful for you as you try to manage some of your stress or your trauma response that is coming up as a result of things that are going on right now. But please don't hear me saying I have all the answers. I can fix your problems. No, it's just I've been on a healing journey for probably about 4 years now. And over that time, I've collected a lot of tools to help myself in dealing with some things that were going on personally. And I feel like at this time, people who are trauma survivors, people who have been kind of on a healing journey for a long time, I think it's our duty to really step up and offer some of these tools to other people right now because we're going through a global collective trauma at the moment. And it's stirring up things in people that they've never, especially bodily sensations that they've never experienced before. So I'm just going to offer some of the things that have helped or worked for me that you can also check out and explore further yourself. But yeah, I just feel like, I'm a clairsentient empath, and what that means is that I feel sensations in my body that are not necessarily my body's stuff. So I can tap into collective energy fields and energy fields of other people that I'm connected to, sometimes without even knowing it, and carry some of that energy into my own body. So, in the past few weeks, I've experienced, number one, a lot of energy in my head, a lot of headaches. And particularly for me, when a trauma response is triggered, I get the headaches in this band right at the bottom of my head, which actually corresponds to the system that gets lit up when your fight or flight response is triggered. So a lot of people are experiencing stuff in their head, heart palpitations, pain in the chest, lungs feeling like it's hard to catch a deep breath, stomach and intestinal stuff. I've also had pain in my right hip, and our right side is our masculine side. Our hips are connected to our sacral and our root chakras, so that's all about our feelings of stability, feeling safe, and feeling like we have some semblance of control over our lives. And our masculine energy is very much the energy of the doer taking action. So it makes sense that this side of my body was having issues there because I think a lot of people are feeling really unstable and also feeling like they can't take action or move forward in their lives right now. And that can be really hard. So I bring all this up. Another disclaimer I want to say is that I'm not actually ill. Physically, I'm totally healthy. And the reason why I know that these symptoms in my body are not mine is that they come and go, and they're also in different spots all the time. So, I've had to become really aware of my own body and what stuff is my stuff and what stuff is other people's stuff. So when I receive some of these pains in my body, I take it as a message that I need to share with others. So, all that description to be said, that what I want to offer here are some practical, tangible tools that you can use at home for your own self-healing and self-care. And also to hopefully, and I'm calling this rescue methods for trauma response because it's things that you can do in the moment when you're having a problem to try to de-escalate yourself and also try to get some of that energy that's getting stuck or that's perpetuating this trauma response, how to release that from your body as much as possible. So, yeah, I'm going to just share some things that have worked for me, and I'll also leave recommendations and links below to other to people that I know personally who might be able to help you, but also just some resources that might be helpful for you to check out. So definitely read the description below and take a look at that. Cool. So one thing I want to say, trauma response is different than regular like anxiety or regular depression in that it's not a response to something that's happening right in front of you or in this moment. It's a response to something that happened in the past that's now being triggered, and it's causing you to dissociate from your body. So let me try to explain this in the simplest of terms, is that biologically, human beings, way back in the day, this trauma response was actually embedded into our systems as a way to protect us. So, for example, if a saber-toothed tiger came to attack you, your trauma response would light up in your brain and it would tell you to run away as fast as you possibly can. Gets your adrenaline going so that you're able to do kind of superhuman things that you wouldn't normally be able to do in order to protect yourself and get yourself to safety. So the fear response that's triggered is actually to help protect your physical body and get you to safety. Now, what's happened now as humans come into the modern time is that for the most part, we don't have as many physical dangers that we need to protect ourselves from, but we have the same emotional response as if there was. So our body doesn't know the difference between a saber-toothed tiger is running at you and you're about to die, and I'm worried about my loved ones in a global pandemic, for example. So your body's having the same response as if you or someone you love is in mortal danger. And this system it's there to protect you and to help you, but when it's triggered for a sustained period of time, it can cause a lot of problems, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So it's actually your body trying to help you, but what happens is when that trauma response goes in, we have kind of this dissociation from our body because it's perceived that the body is about to experience a lot of pain. So what happens is kind of like our minds and our emotional body kind of separate out. So it can give you this feeling of like emptiness or like floatiness, sometimes dizziness, where you don't feel like you're in your body anymore. It's a very out of body experience. And people who have trauma triggers will tell you that. Like, it's almost like you're freaking out, but you're not. You feel like you're somewhere else. So the best way to try to calm yourself down is to get back in your body. Get back in your body. And there are a lot of ways to do that and a lot of ways to kind of bring ourselves back. So what it is a lot of times our trauma response is actually us being triggered about a memory from the past or something that has happened a long time ago, a fear that's still stuck in our system, pain that we've experienced that's not actually happening in this moment right in front of us. So it's a fear of pain that's not actually occurring. So the best thing that you can do is know. So the two goals of rescue response is kind of like get back in my body, get back in this present moment. Those are the two goals. So however you can do that is really important. Cool. So now that I've done my kind of overview talk, I'm gonna go into some things we can do. So for me, smells are really, really helpful. So find a scent that is very comforting to you. It could be something nostalgic that reminds you of something comforting, like a smell that just makes you think of home or think of safety. Could also be like, as far as some things I recommend, a lot of times people will use certain essential oils. Lavender is very calming. Eucalyptus is very clearing for our system, so that can work too. But for me, I have a sweet tobacco essential oil, and that smell for me is very grounding. It helps me feel like I'm safe. And also roses. I like the smell of roses. So if you can get your senses involved and find a smell that you can either put on an essential oil bracelet and smell, put the smell in your body where you're going to smell it easily, use a diffuser, something like that. I really recommend that. In addition to that, as far as clearing your energy, Epsom salt baths are great for that. And also using like a scrub, like a sugar or salt scrub on your body. Because our physical body is actually really interconnected with our energy body. So we can clear our physical body. Number one, what a bath does is it gets you into a sensory experience of your body, so you're getting back in your physical body. But you can also use, like I said, the Epsom salts and the scrubs can help clear off negative energy that's keeping you stuck. So that's really nice. And you can put essential oils in your bath to get that other sense involved as well. And that, I find baths to be very helpful in grounding back down my energy. And a lot of times if I have that buzzing in my head, it will dissipate when I take a bath. And I'm going to say this, since probably it's only adults watching this, I'll say it in cryptic terms, I guess, in case there's children involved. But any other way that you like to get in touch with your body as a single person or engaging with another person, that's also a great way to get back in your body, provided that physical touch and that engagement is healthy and loving and gentle. So go for it is what I'm saying. Okay. Being silly is actually a really fun thing that you can do. So I have a bubble wand that I got at Disney World that sometimes when I'm just way too in my head and I'm getting crazy and I'm freaking out, I'll just like spray bubbles all over my apartment. So being silly, dancing around, putting on music that you like, jumping on your bed was something a friend of mine recommended recently. So like getting back into that childlike, joyful spirit can help to shift your energy as well. Some people work with crystals, so you can get, for depression and anxiety, lepidolite is really good. Rose quartz is good to just get back into a love state. You can also get grounding type crystals. I like shungite a lot. That's good for really grounding and protecting your energy. So you can look up what crystals are good for your experience as well. Citrine is good to clear your energy and get you more into a light-minded spirit too. And sometimes I will do meditations with crystals, like physically laying on my body as well. Cool. When you're having that moment of trigger and moment of trauma where it feels like, you know, you're kind of freaking out or you can't get into your, you know, maybe your heart's racing or you're breathing heavy and things like that, taking some slow, deep diaphragm breaths are really important. So your diaphragm, when you take a diaphragmatic breath, I think is what Nikki will tell me later, you're going to feel your hand push out when you put it on your abdomen. So taking really slow, deep breaths. And you can do that on your own. It's also, if you have the privilege of being in the same room with another person right now, quarantined with another person, you can also embrace each other and breathe and sync your breathing and breathe together. And there actually have been scientific studies that show that when one partner is slowing their breath and slowing down their heart rate, it starts to de-escalate and bring down the other person as well. So you can do this as partners as well, if you, again, if you're able to be with another person at this time. Or you can do this yourself, and I will do it sometimes like hugging a pillow or hugging a stuffed animal as if there's somebody there. I have a heating pad that has lavender in it that I will use because I get really bad, like when I get that trauma trigger, my head's just buzzing and I can't get it to stop sometimes. But I've found that I have a heating pad that I can put in the microwave for like a minute and a half, and I put it on my head, and I will just like lay on my bed with the heating pad on my head, and that seems to help. And I'll move the heating pad from my head down to my abdomen, and that will often help bring the energy down there. And then if my feet are cold, I'll put the heating pad also down on my feet. So it's like progressively bringing that energy down and grounding it back down to our feet. Can also help to go outside, stamp your feet in the ground. If you can do it barefoot, that's even better. Sometimes just focusing on your feet and imagining that your feet are the roots of a tree and growing into the ground can also help ground down your energy. So like I said, the goal is to get back into our physical body and back into this present moment. So bringing the energy from like up here and bringing it down the center line to the back down to our feet. You also have to really check in with yourself. Do you need rest? Because a lot of times when we get trauma triggered, we try to just get really busy so we don't have to focus on the thing that's bothering us. And right now that's really hard for people to do because there's nothing to distract you. You're kind of stuck in your house. So letting yourself cry and release all the emotions that are coming up. This means like make sounds, like scream if you have to, yell if you have to. Let yourself filter out those emotions that are getting stuck. Like really let yourself do it. And if you need to rest, also let yourself rest. And don't feel ashamed about that. Don't feel like you should be doing more than what you actually are. You will be able to get up faster and recover faster if you let yourself actually experience the emotion and actually rest when you need to rest. It's really, really important. And our culture does not support this and doesn't really teach it. But it's really important that we take this time for ourselves and let the emotions come through. That's the only way they're going to get released. Sometimes you're going to not feel like talking to anyone, and you're going to need to put up boundaries and take space and not let everybody into your energy all the time, and take care of yourself instead of extending your energy out to everyone else. Check in with yourself whether you need more hermit time or whether you really do need to reach out to someone else and talk to them. I know that I'm somebody who it often is very helpful for me to talk out what's going on with a trusted friend. But what the key here is, talk to somebody who's going to listen to you without trying to fix it. So someone who's going to validate you, and somebody who is going to just let you be heard. Someone who you feel, when you're done talking to them, your energy is uplifted, not somebody who is in a lot of fear themselves and is going to bring you down. So check in when you need to and find, but be discerning about who you're talking to at this time, I would say. But again, also, I can also be a person who extends my energy out and is there for other people to the point where I feel very depleted. So having that balance between, do I need to reach out? Do I need to take time for myself? Cool. I also find that having some sort of ritual can help. Now, I'm not perpetuating anything of any kind of denomination or any kind of religion. Find what works for you. But having some sort of what you could consider a spiritual practice or even just a mindfulness practice. Again, that can mean meditation and setting aside some time for that, getting quiet and quieting down that brain. But for me, lighting candles and speaking out into the universe and talking to my loved ones, even if they're not around me. I create my own kind of ritual that makes me feel comforted and feel like I'm not alone. So getting creative with stuff like that, even if it's just as simple as lighting a candle and you know, praying for the people in your life that you know need a little boost right now. Expressing yourself artistically can be a big way to work through and de-escalate your trauma response as well. That can be writing poetry, that can be painting, that can be drawing, that can be dancing around your living room, getting creative, maybe crafting a little, but finding ways to express those feelings that are coming up is really important. Some super practical things you can do. Increase your water intake. That also helps flush your system of anything negative, anything that's being held on to that's getting stuck. I would say avoid excessive alcohol or excessive caffeine, because both of those things might get you into a depressed or an anxious state because they're depressants and stimulants. So more water, less of the other stuff if you can, and herbal tea is also really great. There are a lot of herbal teas that are designed to calm you and help you with kind of calming yourself down. For me, taking walks in nature is really important. If that's possible for you in your situation, I do it pretty much every day, and it really helps me. And it also helps because you can focus, you can mindfully focus on looking at your surroundings and being present in this moment. So looking at your surroundings, noticing things, taking things in. For me, there are certain trees I check in on every time I take a walk, and I can note their growth, and that's something to look forward to every day. What birds am I going to see today? Things like that. So nature walks are great. Music, making it, singing it, listening to it, finding music that really resonates for you and helps. Another quick way that you can get yourself back in your body and kind of reharmonize your system is honestly just humming on a note. So you can just hum for as long as you can on a breath, and you can feel that resonance in your body, and it's kind of like you're being your own tuning fork and getting your energy back in alignment. So that's simple, something you can do. I'm going to also recommend, there are a lot of people doing yoga practices online right now that you can do from home. So finding a group to do that, just getting some gentle movement going on in your body, even if it's not a super hard workout. Finding maybe restorative yoga or yin yoga practices you can do, yoga nidra for sleep. So checking those out, and I will recommend a friend of mine below who has her own online yoga stuff going on, so you can check out what she has to do. We can't have physical sessions right now, but distance Reiki can also be very helpful. Nikki and I talked about it on one of my videos that I posted recently, and I'll link her below. That's an energy attunement session where somebody, you get a Reiki practitioner and they remotely connect with you and kind of try to realign your system. Was really, really helpful for me. And that might sound a little woo-woo if you've never experienced something like that, but it's something to try if you really feel like your system's very out of whack. Getting an energy boost from another person can be very, very helpful. So again, I'll link that information below. Cool, so that's a lot of stuff. I'm just giving you as much as you possibly can, and you can try these and try what works for you. I'm going to end with a little bit of EFT. This is tapping, if you've ever heard of tapping. And for me, when I'm getting a lot of that buzzing in my head, or I'm feeling like really anxious, also sometimes when I'm feeling the opposite, the depressed state, the EFT can really help. One really quick thing that you can do that's part of the tapping is the thymus thump. So that's right here, the middle of your chest bone. And it's just like you can just tap really firmly right there and do it for as long as you want, and take some deep breaths. And that helps bring down that trauma response in your body. So that's something you can do in the moment when you feel really triggered. It's called a thymus thump. And if you want to look up the science to that, you can. It does actually really help. But yeah, okay, so EFT is basically tapping on meridian points in your body in an effort to basically calm your nervous system and also just calm your energy field. And you can do it on certain phrases. So the way I look at it is you do the system through 3 times to tap out the energy, the negative energy that you are trying to release. And then you do 3 more times tapping in the energy you would like to fill that space with now. So for example, let me think of an example. So let's just do something simple. Okay, anxious. So we can say anxious, and we're going to start here on I'm going to do it through 3 times for each. So anxious, if what we're feeling is anxious, we're going to take our karate chop. And it doesn't matter which hand you use, and you can switch. I usually switch. Okay, so we're going to go on our karate chop point. Anxious. Top of the head, anxious. And make sure you're breathing. Middle of the forehead, anxious. Corner of the eyebrow, anxious. Temple, anxious. Under your eye, anxious. Under your lip, or above your lip, anxious. Chin, anxious. Collarbone, anxious. Under your arm, anxious. So then we're going to do it again. Same thing. Anxious. Top of the head, anxious. 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 Okay, and I'm going to go through one more time, but you can notice each time you go through, then check in with your body and see how you're feeling. And you should start to feel like calmer as it goes through. So one more time through, tapping out the energy of anxiety. Anxious. 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 Okay. And I'm going to also, as we tap in, I'm going to share, I add a few more points as well that relate to your chakras. So we're going to go through and do that. So let's say what we want to tap in is, I am safe. Okay, so I'm going to go, I am safe. 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 So then I'm going to add the thymus thump. I am safe. Solar plexus, which is your stomach. I am safe. Sacral, that's here. I am safe. Hip bones, I am safe. And that just helps kind of ground it down a little bit more. This might feel really weird. It might seem really odd, but it does you can notice a difference in your body and in your energy field. I'm also going to say I'm not like a professional with this. This is just a personal practice that I've used. But if you look online, you can find a lot of people doing EFT, and they will lead you through all of this as well. I just think it's important for people to have lots of resources. Yeah. So, okay, why not? Let's do it 2 more times. So then you can, what other phrase can we use? We could use calm. Calm. I am 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 calm. And let's just do it one more time. I am calm. I am calm. Well, let's do something else. Let's do I am loved. 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 Cool. So I think that's everything I had on my list here today. I hope that some or all of these things are helpful for you as you kind of move through what everyone's going through right now. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, or if there's something you'd like me to talk about, or if you just want to talk to me personally. I'm happy to help. It's a lot what we're all going through, and it's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster, and it's triggering a lot of really difficult stuff for people. So just know that I'm in your corner. I love you. I care about you. And it's going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. All right. Sending you lots of love. Bye.